these blocks start life as really large format screen prints. It's basically the same as painting, so if I had a huge canvas, I've got all my colours out, they're acrylic based, so it's like making an acrylic painting. And I have a big screen, which is a huge mesh, really tight fine mesh. And I lay that down, I have my paper underneath, and I lay the screen down, and I paint onto the screen. And the process of getting the image onto the paper is done with a really large squeegee, so it's like a large rubber ended implement that you just drag. So I paint absolutely the entire image. So my process is all done in one hit. So I'll paint the entire image, make sure I hold it in place by just putting kind of clear medium in place, which is like the acrylic paint, no colour whatsoever, just see-through. And then there's a vacuum that pulls through and holds the paper to the table, and I basically just drag right across the whole image, cross everything, and the resulting imagery that you've seen here on the blocks is isolated elements from those large format screen prints when I've done the drag and the image has been transferred through the mesh of the screen onto the paper. What I tend to do within one print session, so when you're working in screen print you have to work really quickly because the ink can dry. When the temperature's really warm you really have to be mindful of that. You can get things that can slow down the drying processes, but you do still need to work quickly. It really plays into what I want to do with really quick gestural mark making because I can't overthink the process. Once I've done one image and I've dragged the image onto the paper, I'll work directly straight over the top of the same image. So I've got a ghost of an image still on the screen, and I'll build up more depth, more overlaid colours, the translucencies. I'll play with that in the ink and mix it to different densities. And then I'll do another pull when again I've refilled the screen with the fresh image. And then I might do that 3 or 4 times. My screen prints tend to be about maybe nearly a metre by 600 mil, so they're really large format. So there's only so many I can do before the screen does start to dry up. So I might get 3 or 4 prints out of one session, but the smaller that base print is, the more I can generate. A lot of people do go back and revisit, so they'll put a printed on piece of paper back onto their screen printing bed, paint another picture and re-pull, so you've almost got 2 layers of print on one paper, but I just do mine all from the data that's kept within the screen in the mesh, and then whatever is there is my last pull will have all the layers in, and then that's all washed away, and I'm left with a blank screen again. It doesn't use stencils, it doesn't use exposed areas to define imagery, so these are all one-off, hand-painted monoprints in effect, but they might retain layers of information from previous prints, and that's how that works.